Luke Raley had a really nice rehab assignment so far, and it is coming up in time for the Mariners to make a decision. He's able to play all of the outfield spots as well as first base. Right now, the Mariners have at first base Rowdy Tellez and Donovan Solano. Dylan Moore can play first base in a pinch, but he generally plays either in the outfield or at shortstop, or sometimes second base if Polanco is the designated hitter. We have Miles Masterboni on the roster as the fourth outfielder right now. We also have Dominic Canzone as a recent call up from AAA Tacoma. And Dom has been looking pretty decent. He did ground into an inning or a game-ending double play the other day, but he's been looking pretty decent over the last few games. And I this is his last option year, so sending him down probably wouldn't be the best idea. Miles Masterboni does have one option year left, so we could just option him down to Tacoma. Both Donovan Solano and Rowdy Tellez would have to be designated for assignment and would have to clear waivers in order to make room for the roster spot. And this is for the 26-man roster. The Mariners also would also potentially have to make a 40-man roster move if it weren't to be something along the lines of Rowdy Tellez or Donovan Solano being designated for assignment. Because of that, I believe the most likely roster move, if those two remain on the roster, would be for the Mariners to move Bryce Miller to the 60-day IL. It's possible that Luke will be able to join the team for the game in Chicago. Unfortunately, because of when the games were played, with Tacoma having a night game and Seattle having an afternoon game, he was not able to travel with the team to Chicago, but it's very likely he can reach there by Friday. Well, by game time. First pitch is at 2:20 Chicago, 2:20 Eastern time, 1:20 Chicago time. And I do believe that it would likely be the best option for the Mariners to move Bryce to the 60-day IL because it's going to be 6 to 8 weeks minimum, and I actually think he's probably going to end up having surgery, unfortunately. With that being said, Donovan Solano and Rowdy Tellez are both okay options at first base. Solano had a rough start, but he's been out hitting Tellez lately. Tellez hasn't been great at the plate, but he's been really good at first base defensively. So it's one of those things you got to think about. And of course, just calling Dom Canzone up, and he's been up and down and up and down and up and down throughout his years in the Mariners organization, and he is out of options after this season. Does make me think that the Mariners may be hesitant to do that. With Miles Masterboni having an option and not having the greatest season, I do think it's possible he goes down there. Casey Lawrence is not on the roster right now, so he could not be the roster move to carry 14 and 12 for a couple of days while they make the decision. Casey Lawrence is in Tacoma right now, because that's just what he does. He signs minor league contracts with the Mariners after being designated for assignment. Although Toronto did borrow him for that one game, which was funny. Um, the Mariners have a lot of decisions to make because unfortunately the Mariners' bats are not great right now, and Luke is a much better bat than all of the ones that I've mentioned. It's just we have to figure out where to put him defensively. I could see him playing a steady first base right now with Dom Canzone in the outfield, and more than likely Rowdy Tellez being the one designated for assignment and unlikely to be picked up. So more than likely, what we'd be able to do is sign him to a minor league contract like we did with Casey Lawrence. We would probably want to talk to either Solano or Tellez and be like, hey, are you willing to do this? And if they're willing to do this, be like, hey, yep, go ahead. Because the Mariners would be on the hook. And if nobody picks them up, they can just be outrated to the minors, and they can reject minor league assignment and go to free agency, but that does forfeit the remainder of their salary for the season. And if they sign a minor league contract, it would be different than their major league contract, which is a whole thing. I Victor Robles still won't be back until September, which is another problem because we would really like Victor Robles back right now. I think he'd probably be batting either ninth or second right now. Ninth as like a second leadoff man, or second behind JP as another speedster, or as a speedster to get on base. I could even see moving JP down to second, having it go Victor, JP, Julio, Cal, with Cal in that traditional cleanup spot, or swap Julio and Cal depending on who has the better OBP. But the 7 through 9 hole for the Mariners lineup has been kind of a black hole lately. So having Luke back, hopefully by tonight's game, would be great, but it's very likely he will be back by the end of the road trip at the latest.
And again, thank you for tuning into the videos. Don't forget that you can also see me on Patreon at Sammy5436, where it's $1 a month. I also am seeable on Instagram at Sammy5436. What? TikTok at Sammy5436. I'm on Blue Sky at Sammy5436, though I don't use that often. I believe I'm on Tumblr at Sammy5436, but I haven't used that in at least a year. And you can find me at my business email, thetrapezoidtalks5436 at gmail.com. Any information you need to send to those business emails will be looked at. I generally look at my business email on Wednesdays and Sundays, so just do be advised that I do not always have the ability to respond immediately, but if you do send an email to my business email, and as long as it's not offensive, I will respond if it's something I'm interested in with something positive, and if it's something I'm not interested in, I will thank you for your email and go ahead and say that there may be a future opportunity for us to collaborate if that's something you're interested in.